here we go as we get set to start the second half of
Hope you enjoyed the halftime festivities.
And we're underway.
Mustangs on top 35-9, and the Raiders start off with an onside kick, but they won't recover it. Mustangs fall on it, and they'll start off at their own 49-yard line. Michael Grace fell on it at halftime. The Mustangs have total 293 yards of offense, 250 rush, 43 passing yards by quarterback Jonathan Sanchez. PSJA North not too far behind, 195 yards all on the ground, but they did turn it over 3 times. Mustangs scored on all 3 turnovers, and the Raiders also turned it over on downs. That's where we are at with 11:59 in this third quarter to open the second half, and Trevor Space won't go down, gets away from a ton of blockers, and there's green grass in front of him. Trevor Space, easy touchdown for Mcallen Memorial.
51-yard
Raiders simply cannot tackle. A 51-yard run by Trevor Spates on the near side.
41-9
Easily one of the top offensive weapons in the entire state of Texas. Gets away, and when you have that label on you, you have to wrap up. The Raiders didn't do that defensively, and as a result, it's a 51-yard touchdown run for the Mustangs, and it makes it now 41-9. Mustangs add the extra point. It's good. 42-9 is the score. First play of the second half. It only took 12 seconds.
Yeah, big run there by Spates. It looked like a pinball there on that run. The Raiders, once again, they were in the backfield. They had him corralled once again, but Spates eludes everybody, dashes off to a 51-yard touchdown. That gives him 182 yards on the night. He's been averaging about 195 yards, so he's well on his way to pick up that average up. And once again, the Mustangs show off their power, their strength, and a quick score. They scored on their first possession, then on their third possession, quickly on a touchdown pass here in the second half. Spates with an electrifying run of 51 yards to get it going. I don't think everybody had even sat down yet from the halftime festivities. But 13 seconds into the second half, the Mustangs increased their lead to 49-2.
There was actually a PSJA North player on the band playing at halftime. I guess he still didn't have time to put his shoulder pads on and get back into the action, but you really see the kind of player that Trevor Spates is, and of course you're going to get that comparison with your predecessors for Mcallen Memorial as the Raiders return it with Sammy Lopez. He loses the ball, and the Mcallen Memorial come up with it. They're acting like they did. We'll let the officials give the indication. Mustangs signaling that they have it. They're piling up, and they do. The indication, the Raiders haven't even touched the ball on offense, and they've turned it over once. Makes it the 4th turnover of the game. When things go bad, everything just piles on.
Yes, sir. Not the way Coach Flores envisioned this second half starting out. Big touchdown run by Spates, and then on the ensuing kickoff, a fumble puts the Mustangs right back into business. They are 23 yards away from pay dirt once again.
Sanchez still at quarterback with Spates in the backfield. Sanchez with good protection. Now he kind of shovel passes it over to Asael Garza, and Garza tripped up inside the 20 by Juan Garcia. I was kind of asking Coach Bill Littleton before the game when we would see Trevor Spates and their quarterback on the bench. If you were here with us on KTRY TV 17 in their last outing here, when they shredded PSJA Memorial 68-10. Trevor Spates only carried the ball once in the second half, and also put in their backup quarterback, Emmanuel Garcia, for the remainder of the game, and they still managed to score 20 points. And Coach Billington kind of laughed it off and said, this Raiders team is very good on defense. They're very well coached. But right now, Sanchez again on the keeper to that right side. Can they bring him down? No. Touchdown, Mcallen Memorial. Another running touchdown for the Mustangs, but there's a flag on the play at the Let's see if this comes back. Eddie Ramos says it's coming back, so it's coming back. You know it. It's going to be a low block, a chop block on the Mcallen Memorial offense. Clipping.
Going to be a clipping call against the Mustangs. We'll drive them back 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Should put them back to about the 30-yard line, 25-yard line.
65 yards of penalties for Mcallen Memorial.
With the penalty, the ball
As I wanted to go back to my earlier comments, and Coach Littleton, he respects his Raiders team. But the way this game has gone, 42-9, they're right up there with their average to get to 68 points, which they did against the Wolverines. So Sanchez with 2nd and 15. 14, 2nd and 14. So Sanchez has a man open. Broken up. Great defensive coverage by number 8, Nico Jaime. I thought it was Sammy Lopez. He's usually a player that comes up big in the secondary. But Nico Jaime dropping back.
Brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, Nico Jaime and Sammy Lopez had the receiver sandwich there. The ball a bit underthrown, as we see here on the replay. He did have a receiver open. Great effort there, leaping up into the air, batting the ball down. The intended pass was to Steven Regalado, the senior receiver for the Mustangs. Great play defense.
The incompletion brings up 3rd and 14 for Memorial. Spades in the backfield, but the Raiders blitz, and Sanchez gets away from it. He's got first yard. Almost. He was running too fast. I stumbled on my language. First down yardage. That's what I try to say. Excuse me, folks. But it looked like he almost had the first down. There was a lot of running room for him to work with, and they stopped him 2 yards short.
Yes, that brings down a 4th down. But once again, we've seen it numerous times tonight. There's a defender with an open shot at getting the running back at the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage. They simply can't make the tackle. And he picks up good yardage, puts him well into field goal range.
Now the Mustangs send one off from 32 yards out. It's good. So the Mustangs at a field goal makes it 45-9 now with 9:46 left in this 3rd quarter. Welcome back to PSJA Stadium. The seat opens for Edgar Ruiz. Excuse me, it was Sammy Lopez. I was wondering why the kicker was doing return duties, but Sammy Lopez again coming big for the Raiders. They've had this all season long. Great returns, great defensive efforts, but the offense has stifled with the turnovers. They haven't touched the ball on. This is the first time they touched the ball on offense, and they've already turned it over on the previous kickoff return. Raiders line up quickly. It's a toss to Rodriguez. Garza goes out and makes a block. He opens a big hole for Garza, who cuts it back inside across the 30, inside the 25, brought down at the 20-yard line.
A big 40-yard run by Garza there.
The pursuit by Ozzy Salazar was enough to bring him down on defense. So the return man by the Mustangs comes up with a big tackle to avoid a touchdown by Jacob Rodriguez, but the sophomore linebacker has done a great job filling in at running back.
And actually, he's had 2 big runs tonight, and I think both times we thought he was somebody else. So Rodriguez at about 100 yards rushing tonight, doing a great job at the running back position.
And a big stop by Nick Marriott on Joey Estrada. They only have 2 running backs that we see on the field, Estrada number 21 and Jacob Rodriguez. They've had a lot of injuries and a lot of off-field issues, and they've been trying to plug those holes with junior varsity teams. There's not that many players on the field, on the sidelines, I should say. A couple of them have their shoulder pads off, dressed in shorts, and this is the time of the season when you get those injury bugs and just stuff happens. It appears the Raiders call a timeout. They do. 2 left. Raiders discussing things out, trailing 45-9. You're watching Friday Night Football here on KTRI TV 17. Second and 12 for the Raiders inside the Mustangs 22, but they commit a false start after the timeout. Raiders not being mentally tough here. And finally, Louis Hengler's mic comes to life after we've been reading lips throughout the entire first half. 45-9 is the score here on KTRI TV 17. Alex Peña and Javier Martinez on the call tonight, live from PSJA Stadium, District 31 Friday matchup. Raiders looking for their first win of the year, but they are a long way from it. Joey Estrada picks up a few yards on the play to get that yardage back. Osvaldo Calderon being on the stop for Mcallen Memorial. And when you're 0-7 on the season, it tends to discourage these players a bit, especially when you're 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who start to kind of question yourself and think, you know, why are we practicing? Why are we still here? It doesn't matter. You know, you have players that kind of abandon the team and start to doubt themselves. But the players that are here for the Raiders playing tough here on 3rd and 13. A pickup for Jacob Rodriguez. Gets between tacklers inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Raiders.
Taken out of bounds at the 7.
Jacob Rodriguez, a sophomore running back, got stopped by Orly Cortez and Michael Garza. But despite all the woes that the Raiders have suffered throughout the season, they are still playing tough against this very strong Mcallen Memorial offense and defense.
I like what I see from Jacob Rodriguez there. Plenty of good runs. He's well over 100 yards. Right now, in the present, the Raiders, you know, they're moving the ball. We've seen them all night long in Memorial territory. They just can't punch it in yet.
The hand to Rodriguez, he got stuffed on the line of scrimmage, met up by a trio of Mustangs led by Derek Alegria.
No gain on that play to bring up second down.
Raiders have been able to move the ball all season long, but they usually put it in the hands of the opponent. They've done it 4 times tonight. If you don't add the turnover on downs in the second drive of the ball game, Raiders line up on 2nd and 7. Mustangs with 4 down linemen stacking the box. Raiders from that wing T formation. It's a toss to Rodriguez to the outside. He's still on his feet, pushed out of bounds by number 20, Michael Garza, and Derek Alegria again. 3rd and goal now from the 3. Raiders trying to have some kind of offense going.
Good, hard, strong running by
Third down
Jacob
and
Rodriguez
goal.
there. Earlier in the game, the Raiders were taking advantage of the right-hand side of that offensive unit. Right now, they're going towards the left side. And they're finding success. It's a 3rd and goal from the 3. Let's see if the Raiders can punch it in.
North, inside the 3. Again, Rodriguez working that right side. He's pushed laterally, and he won't get the touchdown.
I want to say he got to about the 1 yard line. It looked like he had a bit of an opening. It closed quickly. And the Mustangs up to the task, brings up a 4th and goal from the 1 yard line, I believe. Yes, it will be marked down at the 1.
Coach Flores obviously won't send the field goal unit now. They are down by 36 points.
Without doubt, this is 4th down territory. The Raiders desperately need a touchdown.
Garza, the handoff is going to be a touchdown for the Raiders. Jacob Rodriguez from 1 yard out. He plunges forward. Wasn't going to get denied for a 4th time. And the Raiders score a touchdown for the 2nd time tonight. 15-45 now is the score. You see here the replay. Good blocking on that right side.
Yeah, the Big Uglies do their job there. Push the Mustangs out of the way and a big touchdown. I'd go for 2 if I were the Raiders here.
But they're going to keep it on the foot of Edgar Ruiz for the point after. Snap is good. Kick is blocked. It's caught by the Mustangs, and they have return room. And
they have a wall
They
set
have
up.
a whole ocean on that left side, right side, and it's number 20, Michael Garza. So he made the tackle to prevent an earlier touchdown by Rodriguez. They block it, and he said, what the heck, let's go for it. And the way the season has gone for North, I wouldn't have been surprised if they returned it for a touchdown, but the Raiders getting back and corralling the returner. Score stays the same, 45-15. Raiders trailing the Mustangs. A 1 yard touchdown run by the Raiders off the feet of Jacob Rodriguez. And now Ruben Reyes sets to kick it off, possibly an onside kick. Boots it off into the distance. And it's going to be returned by the Mustangs from their own territory. It's Ozzy Salazar, and Salazar stays on his feet. And now it's still him. Heaven knows what he's doing, but he brings it back to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, that was one of those returns. He ran east, west, north, then back west. And then he did a little loop around, went from the 20 back to the 15, and then ended up at the 22-yard line.
That's the kind of stuff I see in the circus with the little background music. But
nonetheless, that was an entertaining run. They get back at the 22-yard line.
Hey, when you're down by 30 points, let's have some fun here in the press box. Mustangs on top, 45-15. Raiders just finished their 2nd scoring drive of the game on a touchdown, a 1 yard carry by Jacob Rodriguez, and there's a toss to the outside intended for Alonso. Falls in the dirt. It's incomplete. And with a 30-point lead, Coach Littleton leaves his top guns on the field, so they don't want to give the Raiders any chance of a comeback.
Well, the Raiders have had one opportunity here in the second half offensively, and they put up a touchdown. So, sure, why not? The Raiders are definitely not out of it. They must get some defensive stops, though, if they want to have any chance tonight.
Sanchez with the power package. A toss to Sprates. Alonso out blocking, and he did need his blocking. He went further. Got brought down, tripped up actually by Jesus Montañez. If the Raiders lose tonight, they will be mathematically eliminated from any playoff contention. The Wolverines still have 1 win on the season in district. They beat the San Bernardino Greyhounds. Right now in 31-5A, it would still be the Bears and the Wolverines fighting for a playoff spot. It's a very competitive District 31-5A. 1st and 10 for Memorial. From its own 34, it's a quick toss to the outside in the land of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he was throwing that to. There was 3 receivers in the general area, but clearly maybe he was just throwing the ball away, thinking he was running out of time. Defender might come and jar the ball loose from him, so he simply threw it away. Brings up a 2nd and 10. So then he Spates up to 194 yards rushing. I want to say his average is 195, so he's 1 yard shy of that here in the 3rd quarter.
Sanchez with an incomplete pass into land of nowhere. Area code, I don't know. 2nd and 10 from the Mustang 34 with 5:36 in the 3rd quarter. Raiders stacking the box. Side handoff to Alonso, still pushing the pile. Falls backwards at the 38-yard line. Pickup of 4. We'll bring down 3rd and 6 now with the clock ticking. Mustangs now with 1 wideout. That's number 81, DJ Johnson, 6'5". Look for him to make a play. Sanchez takes a snap, toss to the outside. Spades up the middle. Can somebody please tackle him? Spades across a 30-20. He is going to get an easy touchdown for the Mustangs. 62 yards for Trevor Spades. Putting up Madden numbers. And he's only a sophomore, folks. 256 yards rushing for Trevor Spades. Ridiculous, wacky, outstanding, everything you can say. Trevor Spades embodies it all, and he has the Mustangs on top, 51-15 over Far North. This is where we are at. Extra point is good. 52-15 is the score. Raiders simply can't tackle. 62-yard touchdown run by Trevor Spades. His 3rd touchdown of the contest, given 14 now on the season.
Juan Garcia on the return.
Another return by Juan Garcia. Brings it all the way
yard line.
to
First down and 10
the Raider 24-yard line. So David Garza and the Raiders offense again.
Yeah, the Raiders scored on their last possession, picking up three first downs, scoring a touchdown. So offensively, they've had some success. They haven't put up the points up on the scoreboard that they should have, but they found a lot of success running the ball tonight. Let's see if they can put another good, solid drive together.
Garza with Barbarena up the middle. He was looking for his senior linebacker, but it was over the hands of number 7.
He had a little bit too much mustard on that throw. A little bit hard for Barbarena to hang on to it. Simply went right by his hands for an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 for the Raiders.
Don't you hate it when your hot dog just has too much mustard? Personally, I'm a ketchup man. Or mayonnaise.
Chili and cheese. That's the way I go.
Chili and cheese. We have some great concession stands down here at PSJA Stadium.
Joey Estrada to the 25.
2-yard pickup by Joey
Gain of a
Estrada.
yard.
Cody Stites on the tackle for the Mustangs. And I was actually having a conversation about this with a friend earlier. Which stadiums have the best concession food stands? Personally, I think Rio Grande City. You have Funnel Cake, Speedo Papa. You have, I think once I saw Puerquito Asado.
Wow.
Raiders on 3rd and 9. Estrada, a ball is loose. Did the Raiders fall on it, or did they give it away?
It's
Another turnover for PSJ
Mustang
North.
ball.
Let's keep talking about food here. The way the Raiders have played tonight, it's you know, for the Raider faithful tonight, it's a tough season. And again, this embodies what their year has been about: turnover after turnover after turnover.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot a few times tonight offensively, no question. But you do got to give credit, though, to this Mcallen Memorial offensive unit. I don't care who they're running up against. It seems after they had that bye week, they were struggling prior to that. After the bye week, they're just rolling up points, 40, 50, 60 points a night. So, you know, they run Raiders defense runs into a buzzsaw tonight. You know, they got a great quarterback, 2 good solid running backs. They got receivers who can catch, run with the ball after the catch. So it's been a tough sledding tonight for the Raiders.
So at 3:50 in the 3rd quarter, new quarterback under center, Emmanuel Garcia, the senior. So Coach Littleton going against the grain of what he told me. They respect the Raiders and everything they stand for, but with a significant lead.
No game.
Late in the 3rd quarter, they do plug in their backup. And then you see all the other reserves on the field, including running back number 40 for the Mustangs, Michael Grace, who is listed as a defensive back. Memorial with a toss to the outside. That's number 19, Will Moore. So we saw the last of Trevor Spates, and it was a good carry, 62 yards on the touchdown run that has put the score now 52-15 in favor of Mcallen Memorial, which is on its way to its 3rd straight District 31-5A victory after starting the season 0-2.
Yeah, that's going to put them right in that middle of the playoff race. At 3-3, they'll be half a game out of the final and 4th playoff spot, but they're looking really tough right now. They seem to be peaking at the right time.
Man in motion, that's Asael Garza. It's a toss again to Moore. Moore stepped dead on his tracks by the Raiders defensive front.
Will Moore.
Last year, 31-5A called the meat grinder. When you had that whole realignment, you move up Westlake East from 4A, you bring in San Benito. I still have no clue what San Benito is doing in that district when they're way out there. Geographically, it doesn't make sense, but when you have the 3 Mcallen schools, the Westlake, San Benito, Mcallen Memorial, Mac High, and if one of the PSJA schools can get the act together, they will be out there in the mix. Right now, it appears that the Bears will be that team. As the Mustangs kick a long field goal attempt, it's good.
35-yard field goal.
It's a 35-yard field goal again for kicker number 17, Jesus Flores. 55-15 now. It's a solid 40-point lead for the Mustangs.
And please pay attention. I have one more ticket that needs to be claimed. If you're here, the ticket number is, the last 3 numbers, 341. 341.
Mustangs kick it off to the Raiders. It's Nico Hyman, not the usual return man.
Back to the 32
Kicked it away from Sammy Lopez. And Nico Hyman brought it back to the 34-yard line. We'll try to find out some scores for you guys tonight. District 31-5A right now as it stands. Minute 44, third quarter. Mustangs all over the PSJ North Raiders, 55-15.
There's another fumble by the Raider offense. Recovered by the Raiders. I want to say they managed to get back to the line of scrimmage. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
No game. Second down.
Westlaco on top 28-1 in the Tinaco Bowl, whatever that is. Port Isabel 49-7 over La Feria. Right now it's Rio Grande City up 28-18. Ed Cauchosa also up 27-0. Rodriguez on a carry. No, it's Estrada. Excuse me, on the left side. Stop made by number 5 for the Mustangs, Juan Dominguez. Monte Alto, the Blue Devils, playing strong against Santa Maria, 22-20. I've always wondered what it would be like to go to a game in these small town cities. Monte Alto, Santa Rosa, Santa Maria. I always figured what the atmosphere would be like.
Well, I'm sure they're going to tell you the lights are just as bright in that small town atmosphere as they are here in this huge PSJA ISD stadium.
I tell you what, these cities wait for football all season long. Some programs don't even have it, as the Raiders are just going to let the clock tick down. It's the end of the third quarter. Mustangs all over the Raiders, 55-15. You're watching Friday Night Football here on KTRI TV 17.
And it takes us to the end of the third period. To the flip side.
Fourth down as we start the fourth quarter. Raiders won't even get off the fake punt attempt. On the scoreboard, it's at 3rd and 8. On the field, the chain crew had 4th down. So I was kind of wondering why they would go out. They would go for a punt on 3rd and 8, but the Raiders fail on the fake punt attempt as they have been able to struggle on all 3 phases of the football.
Yeah, they tried to catch Mustangs a bit off guard there. Did not come out exactly the way they drew it up on the drawing board. They're going to give the Mustangs a very short field to work with. Mustangs are 38 yards out from the end zone, deep into the Raider territory with a 55-15 lead here early in the fourth quarter.
New quarterback still for the Mustangs, Emmanuel Garcia under center, and they give it to Michael Graves between the tackles. Some tough running for the junior defensive back. CJ Barbarena made the stop. First and 10 for Memorial, looking to build on its lead, leading by 40 points. They are lined up at the PSJ North 27-yard line.
The Mustangs really slowing down the pace now, using up a lot of that time clock.
Again, Grace, and you kind of feel the game has been put in the scorebook as Mike Garza made another stop for the Raiders. The band is down. The crowd really has kind of silenced. You don't hear the atmosphere that much.
Yeah, the air's been definitely deflated from the balloon on the high impact game tonight. But nonetheless, there's still a good crowd out here, and that shows the devotion and the dedication that not only the players have, but in the aspect of the parents watching their kids play tonight.
Mustangs milking the clock down, the game clock to 6 seconds. Again, Grace with a little swim move, and even the backup running back gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Mcallen Memorial.
Number 40,
Michael Grace from 22 yards out, adding
Mustang.
insult to injury. The Raiders can use some of these backups from Memorial. It's just been that kind of game. 22-yard touchdown run by Michael Grace. And there's still 10:40 to play. Extra point is up, and it's missed. Mustangs missed the extra point. It's 61-15. There's still a chance. 10:40 remaining, fourth quarter.
We have the Mustangs with the kickoff. Bringing it back at about the 6-yard line as Juan Garcia brings it up to the 20-yard line, meets three defenders, gets brought down at the 22-yard line.
First down and 10 Raiders.
We have a special guest here tonight in the booth. Just wanted to say hello to our school board president, Mr. Ronnie Cantu. Mr. Ronnie Cantu, what's your outlook on the PSJA athletic outlook, I guess, in general right now? We got football season running. We got cross country just coming to a conclusion. We got basketball right around the corner. So a lot of sports going on right now in the PSJA ISD school district.
I just want to say hi to everyone. I'm excited that we did have girls cross country of the Raiders advanced to, I believe, regionals. So
yes,
that's a great thing.
Great accomplishment for those young ladies. Congratulations to them and their coaches and the entire PSJA North school right there.
I know things have been tough here with our football teams lately, but we're still supporting them, hoping that, they're young and just hoping that with time they're going to start to gel and get better. But got a whole off season to work on that after the season's over. We're still supporting them and hoping they can continue to get better every game.
Well, it's obvious the community support is there. The athletes are giving it their 100%. I know Coach Flores is out there, hustling and getting his troops motivated. It's a very young football team. We've seen, numerous mistakes. I think they're more mental mistakes. They're not necessarily physical mistakes, and these mental mistakes are simply done because of their lack of experience. But as the season prolongs, I think we're going to hopefully see an up-and-coming Raider team. There we have an interception, though, by Mcallen Memorial at the 35-yard line, and he brings it back to the 40-yard line. So once again, I want to say that's a 6th turnover by the Raider offense. Not a very good night offensively. Their defense has struggled. Mcallen Memorial has one of the most outstanding running backs in all of South Texas in Trevor Spates. So it's an uphill battle tonight for the Raiders, as we can see on the scoreboard. But nonetheless, they're giving it their 100%, and it's something that the entire school district can be very pleased about.
And all I can say is nobody's taking it harder than our kids that are playing and our coaches that are out there trying their best to win a game and to get these kids better. So I just hope as fans and as supporters, we stay behind them and know that, it's not a great year, but there's always next year, and these kids are going to get better, and they're going to keep giving it their all, and we just got to be behind them.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head there, Ronnie, saying, you know, even though our expectations are very high within each and every school, but I think it's very important not only for the kids, but for the community and the parents who really rally around the athletes right now, especially when we're struggling a little bit. It's a learning process. You know, we've got Coach Flores' first year. Anybody who knows Coach Flores, he started off at PSJA High School as a head baseball coach. I remember his very first year, they only won about a handful of games. His very next year, he took a team to the regional semifinals and laid the foundation to which Coach Guajardo now has at PSJA High, where, you know, the PSJA Bears have won 5-6 district championships in a row. So Coach Flores is doing it the right way, I think. He's setting the foundation, trying to make things correct, planting the seed. He's watering it. He's hoping it's going to grow.
Hope you heard that live commentary by Javier Martinez, channeling his inner broadcaster. With 8:07 left in the fourth quarter, I should say. Mustangs haven't scored, so that's good, but they are on offense.
Yeah, we want to thank school board president there, Ronnie Cantu, for stepping in and sharing his thoughts. And it's a great effort that Ronnie Cantu's done for us so far. He's brought in a lot of great ideas throughout the school district, not just athletically, but academically. And it's great to see that we have great leadership and great support from our school board, and especially our school board president, Ronnie Cantu.
And of course, you have to give it up to everybody that made this possible, starting with the superintendent, Dr. Daniel King, athletic director, Coach Orlando Garcia, Mel Rios. Of course, you got everybody at KTRI and PSJA ISD led by Mark Vasquez. Everybody that has made this effort. Even though the game is not going the way we had envisioned for the Raiders, another blowout loss against the Mcallen Memorial Mustangs, it is a chance for these athletes to get featured, get their name out there. And, you know, these kids, they love to be shown on TV. I remember when I played back in 05 at Rowe, we didn't have anybody covering us. Katie Trevino made the tackle. We didn't have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We had MySpace in its infancy stages, but when I would freelance for the Monitor, I remember I would ask the photographers now if they had any archive photos from my senior year. And, you know, when you only win one game, as was the case for myself, people didn't really care about us. So even though the Mustangs are all over the Raiders 61-15, these players, especially those parents that are listening to us, that are watching us stream live across the world and broadcast on KTRI, you know, they love for us to be calling these games and having their family members out here, because it's a struggle. When you're 0-7, now it would be 0-8 in the year, and the Raiders still need to take their bye week. You get good feedback from the parents when you show support for the kids, and I've told the PSJ ISD coaches this all season long. Whenever it's a blowout game, it's tough to find positives, but when these kids go out and practice all week long, Monday through Friday, and of course you have film session on Saturday mornings, you go out and do your own individual workouts. It's tough to battle on, but the players that have remained on the North Raiders team, they've showed a lot of fight with 6:18 left, and they almost turned it over again. But it's just the positives that Coach Steve Flores kind of gives us. And keep in mind that this is a very young team, starting with the quarterback, David Garza, only a sophomore. Running back, Jacob Rodriguez, a sophomore. You have other key players that are also sophomores on that offensive line. And they bring up all these JV players. One player they are very high on is number 30, Brandon Villarreal, a sophomore running back. He's one of the kids they brought in from the junior varsity team. He played last night. Bruce Estai, he's not on the sidelines tonight, but that's one thing they want to do is give these younger kids a little bit of a spotlight in the Friday Night Lights and get them used to the environment, because they're going to be here for the next 2 years. And Coach Flores told me before the game and even after every game, give me 1 year, give me a year and a half to get these kids going, because they'll have their experience, they know what it takes. They've already played against Memorial, against the road schools. They've already felt that intra-city rivalry. You got to clash heads with the Westlacos and San Benito. So now you know what it takes to be successful on Friday Night Lights. And Raiders, they should be strong next year. They can, preach holding on to the ball. They can move the ball, and they'll be good in a year, I should say.
They definitely show signs of progress. They show signs that they have capabilities of being a successful football team. They just seem to stump their toes every once in a while and commit a turnover here and there. But overall, there is definitely talented young sophomores on this ball club. And I want to say Steve Flores is going to definitely right the ship by next year. I foresee the Raiders being a contender next year. They definitely won't be having the struggles they're having this year with a little bit more experience under their belts. I see a quick turnaround. I wish I could say, it's going to be from, you never want to say they're going to come out in last, but a first to last turnaround, as we see sometimes in professional sports. But most definitely, these kids are working hard. From what I hear, they're hungry to get that initial win. They're still playing hard. And with 2 ball games left, let's hope they can accomplish that feat this year and pick up that huge W.
Mustangs from their own 48. Not sure if they're trying to score or keep the clock moving. This time it's a new ball carrier, Robert Alvarez, not Alvarez. Bad way to accent might be having Hispanic. Nico Jaime made the stop, so you still have the starters on defense. And this got to be tough for the seniors that are out there. You look at players like Barbarena, Edgar Ruiz, you have Christian Lopez, of course Sammy Lopez. It's going to be tough. It's a tough pill to swallow because this is the year you remember, your senior year. And this is what you look back on 10, 15 years from now with your buddies. And you're all hanging out and
they're reminiscent of the good old days, so to speak. But I'll tell you what, though. You mentioned Barbarena, you mentioned Sammy Lopez, both of them seniors. Unfortunately, they're not going out on the note they'd like to go out on. But they are clearly 2 of the leaders of this ball club, and they are 2 clearly the top athletes on this ball club. So, a lot to hang out there for these seniors that, hang their hat on. They're very talented. They're very athletic. Unfortunately, they don't have the supporting cast around them just yet. But with, several sophomores, a lot of juniors, very limited seniors, but a good senior class nonetheless.
3rd down and 4 for the Mustangs from the Raiders 46. 61-15 the score. It's a toss, and the Raiders can pick it up, but the Mustangs recover it. There's going to be a big loss on the running game. Did you play football?
I played my freshman year at Mcallen. I played my sophomore year, but once my fellow teammates and especially the opposing teammates were getting a little bit bigger and faster than I was, I stuck to what I do best, and that's play baseball.
And this was, of course, 1966.
This was 1965, 1966, 1967. We won 3 straight district championships. No, that wasn't in the 60s. Come on.
Were you part of the Bears team that went to the state championship twice? Of course, you do have, those reunions with the previous teams when the Bears play here at home. You do have the class of, I remember last year when I covered them for the newspaper, you had classes from 1960, 1970, and you had a couple of members that played on those state championship title teams. Not title, they reached the
state semifinalists.
The state semifinalists.
Yes, 2 years in a row, 62 and 63.
Of course, the only team that has won a state title in South Texas has been the Donner Redskins. Estrada with some nice running up the middle, 2:07 left in the game. Mustangs will move to 4-3 overall, and 3-2 in District 31-5A. Raiders will fall to 0-8 overall and 0-6 in District 31-5A. 22 seconds in the play clock. Garza rolling to his right, looking for a receiver, and then finally pushed out of bounds by Orly Cortez with 1:35 in the game. It's been all Mcallen Memorial all day long. It started with a 38-yard touchdown pass from Jonathan Sanchez to DJ Johnson, made it 7-0. And then you had the teams exchange turnovers for a few possessions. You had Joey, actually the Raiders were in this ball game with 7:31 the first quarter, trailing 7-6 after a 16-yard touchdown run by Joey Estrada back then when we thought this would be a little bit more competitive. Nice catch there by Eric Lopez. North still had it within grasp after a 40-yard field goal by Edgar Ruiz, made it 21-9. And then after that, it was Trevor Spades, Trevor Spades, Trevor Spades. About to see how many yards Trevor Spades has on the night, 256. Thank you, Orly Garcia Jr., our chief statistician. Garza rolling to his right with defense on pursuit. Lowers his head. And then Garza gets up and looks down at Joey Gutierrez.
Up a north, first down.
So Garza steps out of bounds at the 40 with 53 seconds left. Mustangs on their way to their third straight District 31-5A win, 61-15 over North. The handoff to Rodriguez, loses the ball, but he's able to keep it close to his body clock, ticking to 44 seconds now. Going to be a 61-15 final over PSJ North. Garza airing it out, looking for Lopez. This could be a big gain. Would be short of the hands of Eric Lopez. Clock stops at 16.4 seconds left. That would have been the Raiders' first passing touchdown of the season. Not known for their air attack, keep it on the ground. I think they're the 5th best rushing attack in the district. And it's all running when you have Westlacos and Trevor Spades and Mcallen Rowe and San Benito. Garza with the give to Estrada. And Estrada just strips up.
6-yard line.
Excuse me, that's number 2, Christian Lopez. The clock ticks down. It's a final score. Mcallen Memorial 61, PSJ North 15. That will do it from PSJ Stadium. Next Thursday, Southwest against Roma. And Friday, PSJ Memorial against PSJ North. For Orly Garcia Jr., Eddie Ramos, Javier Martinez, Mark Vasquez, and everybody involved in this broadcast, we'd like to thank you for watching. Final score, Mcallen Memorial 61, PSJ North 15.